downtown's closed. Oh dear. I don't think it's from the whiskey anymore. Excuse me, mister. Where's everybody at? Where's the doctor's at?
Congratulations, recruit Deputy Warren Shelby.
Congrats, Ryan. Riot. That kind of sounded like I said Ryan for a minute. What's this?
Morning, friend.
Fella, can you give me a ride to McFarland Ranch? Right, Glarbin Roads? I better get going. Get some help. Let me. General telegrams in the area. the true mayor of Valentine. There wasn't anybody in there. I'm in need.
Things got heated over at the saloon last night. Two fellas ended up shooting each other. Right, ask me. We're nothing to beat couldn't have cured.
Don't mind me, partner. Just keep your distance.
See what you did there, right? I see what you did there, buddy. Genius, by the way. And as the locals walked by Otis, just one of them needed to pick him up and take him to get some help. All this time he thought he wasn't sick. Oh, it's just the alcohol. Oh, it's just the whiskey. What did Otis really have? See, the thing is, being a homeless man in New Alexandria, sometimes you were invisible. Laying flat on your faces was normal. You had nowhere to go.
Slow it down. Ha!
What up, Starbright? I think I should get him out of this street or else they're gonna just trample all over him.
Where am I? Oh, it happened again. I fell. I got dizzy and... Oh, I hope somebody got my telegram. Nobody's gonna come for little old Otis.
It's such a shame. My husband will be leaving Southern Leaders on their day when I arrive. Well, can't do much about that.
You the feller that sent the telegram?
Yeah.
All right, come with me.
All right. Thank you for responding to it. What's
Of
your
course.
name?
Dr. Vlad.
Dr. Blood?
Yes, sir. Oh. Please ask me why am I getting Arabian?
That's your horse?
Sir.
He was excited to see you.
Alright, hop on and hang on.
Let me put my mask on for you. Thank you so much for responding to the telegram.
What symptoms have you been experiencing?
Well, I just thought it was the whiskey in my throat, but I'm coughing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Vomiting. Sometimes I think I see two people blurry. They used to have me at McFarland's ranch. Are they still taking people over there?
Well, I remember you from McFarland's ranch, drinking all the whiskey they brought in.
Mhm. I also haven't had a drink in a day or so.
Well, so on top of everything, you might be going through a little bit of withdrawal. Going from drinking a fair bit every day to not drinking, damn near anything in a few days, you're going to get some lightheadedness, ability, headaches, chills. As far as the vomitings and coughing's concerned, here, let's get you inside. That's more than likely going to be separate. That's probably because you were in the same area as the other gentleman.
You talking about James or David?
David, Felix.
I remember Felix from yesterday. Boy, was a ball of energy.
Mm-hmm. The truth. Go have a seat over there on that bench. We'll take a look at you.
Why can't I sit?
Just need your breathing. I will look down.
Just gonna sit down.
What up, Sotiar?
Take a deep breath for me. Take another one for me.
It hurts, Doc.
All right. What all have you had to eat since you left the ranch?
But that's just the thing. I had to get out of there. There was no more provisions. I haven't had anything to eat since.
Something small to eat.
Backseat
You
gaming.
just wander.
I have a
guess you
scene
probably
for
don't
that,
have yourself
homie.
a place to stay.
Where was that?
Do you wander? I guess you probably don't have a place to stay.
No, yeah, I'm homeless
Oh.
for a few years now. Have you seen James or?
I have not. No, I went out to McFarland's and I didn't see anybody down there. Sleep, or they might have left.
Are they still taking people down there?
My memory, yes. But as far as you're concerned, hell of a journey to be taken. Probably just gonna keep you. And hang on one second. I got different places we could set you up for a little bit, rather than taking you all the way out to McFarland's ranch. Is think on to a certain point. Often's what's worrying me.
What's worrying you?
Coughing.
I'm
Coughing and the vomiting. I can't. Drinking.
Yeah, just throw my ass in a wagon and take me out there. There's a bed over there in the cabin, and I found a liking to one of the locals of the ranch. She's kind of cute. I don't think she likes me yet, but that can change.
Get you down there here shortly. What we're gonna do for now is so
Where was that? My ears are kind of having a hard time hearing him.
no, that's fine. I'm gonna get you some water to drink, something small to eat. I'm gonna go down to the general store and buy some alcohol.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Here's what needs to happen with the alcohol. It'd be perfect if you could be sober during this, but if you go any longer without drinking, it might actually make this worse. So what we're gonna do is, I have one of the locals down there give you just a shot or two every 2 or 3 times a day for like a week. Next week, it's going to be 1 or 2 times a day for a week. After that, be about 1 time a day.
Doc, you keep
After
talking
that-
about it being less and less. That's not the How's that going to help me?
Well, so if you're sober during this process, it means that we can work on basically, it'll help us ensure that what we're saying is specifically from whatever it is you have. Whereas if you're drinking, some of these things might be attributed to the drinking, especially right now. Some of them might be attributed to your lack of drinking. So if we can get it to where you don't need to drink, it'll take out that variable for us.
I don't like feeling like this, so I guess I'll do my best, Doc.
Alrighty. Water. Just enough to help you wet your whistle. There we go. I do have water on.
It's a new character, Sotiark. It's almost like a temporary character.
Take yourself a drink of that and stay here. I'll be right back.
Thank you, Doc.
Sure thing.
All right, so yeah, so what's happening right now, and I've kind of helped a little bit with this, is there's a sickness going around, and it's causing people to panic a little bit and trying to figure out a cure for it, and there's patient zeros and stuff like that. And what we've done is we started to kind of create this whole RP stories that is really starting people to try to find a cure for this. And basically shut down this town that we're in right now, which is called Valentine. And so I'm kind of a patient zero, kind of not. Like, this guy he was friends with patient zeros, and he just happened to get with them after their stories came away from where they got sick. So yeah, this is the one I was talking to you about on Discord about it. Yeah. Normally I play a civilian, and I have another quote unquote civilian that is also kind of like a mobster kind of guy. So yeah, what up Rarden? Speaking of mobsters, there's my partner in crime right there. But it is kind of a hell of a tie back a little bit, and I don't know, like, some people have, you know, expressed their concerns, and it's not something that we're trying to, you know, like, we're not trying to be all up in your face, but it's more or less just, it's to drive interesting RP, right? Like, this is a very serious, it's a serious RP server, and we want to, like, I'm not talking about like serious as in like in your face, like realism, having to deal with real life stuff, but this stuff is more or less, it's giving people stories instead of just always standing around. And I mean, if I went outside, like, I can't go because he wants me to stay in here, but if I go out there, there's nobody there. There's nobody here right now, and it's so weird to see that, right? Yeah, but you're exactly right. Yeah, this is what's, it's not necessarily Rona. Like, there is a name, there is a cure for it. People just have to role play that out, and I'm hoping people are doing that. There's a lot of positive
Alrighty.
people that are coming back with this and enjoying it, so hopefully it'll turn out to be that way, you know.
What is that? I found this bread roll under the seat there.
Don't worry about eating it.
You don't want me to eat it?
I would rather you not, because
Oh.
that's probably been there for a couple weeks.
Is this green stuff on it? Is that a...
That's mold.
Oh.
That's not part of the bread. I'd
Oh,
stop
dear.
eating that. Don't worry about it. It shouldn't hurt you too bad. Stop eating it. So there's a bottle of bourbon.
Doc, can I take the mask off? It's
You know
kind of
what?
hard
Sure.
to breathe.
Just in here. Here's some bread.
All right.
Fresh bread.
Oh, this looks good.
You got 2 of those.
Oh, you know what?
Rather another.
Yeah,
what
this
was
tastes
that?
a lot better than the last one.
The last one's probably been there for a minute or 2. So that'll last you for a little bit longer. You got another one. Start to feel hungry again. There should either be another doctor or a local down there with some supplies for you. That bourbon should last you at least a week. Drink it all at once.
I mean, how much did you give me?
Gave you a full bottle.
Hell, I go through that in about an hour.
Issue. What you're doing is you're killing yourself inside. Much as good as it may feel, on the inside, your body is going through hell. Stuff out here. I'm gonna go grab my wagon and we'll get you down to the to McFarland's ranch.
All right, Doc. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing.
It's a smallpox panic. Yeah. So old time penicillin. Yeah. So so it honestly it's a really cool thing, and like, I'm looking at it like we're creating a lot of different stories, and what I've seen so far from like other people and like in their streams, or what, just seeing what people are talking about, it's actually driving a lot of very interesting and neat character arcs. So hooray on that. And we also, you know, like, it's also kind of like shifting the RP a little bit, which is, in my opinion, is a good thing. Some people might not agree, but I do. So, you know, and it's temporary, right? Like, it's just role play. We're having fun creating stories. So, yep. Yeah, so Rarden plays he plays a couple of characters. One of them's named Lincoln the Hunter, and then the other one is a Bostonian who I like to hang out with a lot on my other character named Salvatore. Is it wrong I'm jealous of Otis's hair? Yeah. I am too. I'm honestly I'm jealous of his entire look. If I ever become a hobo, this is the look I'm going to go for sure. And then Riot Wyatt also plays on WWRP. And he plays a couple of different characters. I think Riot is the only person, maybe some other people, but only person I know
so
that's
before we
gone through
leave, I got a
so
couple
many
questions.
clothing. Yeah.
Where all of you been today?
I woke up here and the saloon.
Have you been in contact with anyone besides myself?
Well, last night there was a few people in town, but today no.
All right, well, that makes my job pretty simple. Got the wagon pulled up out front. Before you leave, I'm going to need you to put that mask on until we get on the road. Then
Okay.
once we get on the road, you can feel free to take it off.
How do I look?
If I'd known any better, thought you were going to rob me.
Boy, I don't even have a weapon.
I know. Be surprised where these people get crafty, hiding their weapons. Alright, you're gonna walk up to the side over here and climb up into the back.
Only cowards hide their faces.
Yeah, this is just like the one that they took us when they didn't ask us for permission to take us out there.
Probably gave you one of the good ones.
Nope, it was like this one. Bunch of deputies chased us right out of Valentine. Tied us all up. Threw us in the back of one of these with our hands tied. At the time, I didn't think I was sick.
I can't vouch for how the deputies handled that particular incident, but I hope you understand why we are taking it as serious as we are.
But how many
should
people
this-
do you know have this now?
To my knowledge, 4. You, Mr. David, Felix, and one other feller.
James?
No, I don't think James. What was the other one that was there with his name? Timmy?
Tucker.
Something like that. Tucker, yes.
Yeah, that boy. Hell, I thought he was sick from just eating the deviled eggs.
Well, it is possible that's where they caught
Oh,
it from.
Pickled eggs, I'm sorry.
And the remainder have gotten sick off of them. We made it a point to ensure that the pickled eggs were changed out and the container was sanitized thoroughly. Unfortunately, it is rather difficult to track down who all has eaten the pickled eggs.
Last night I came across a Tom Pinch. You heard of him?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You ever heard of a Tom Pinch out of the barber in the Valentine Saloon?
I heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, he was gonna give me a job last night, but then I threw up all over the area. He tied me up and tried to send me to McFarland's. Feel bad for the poor fella.
I do need to go have a talk with him then if you threw up all over him.
There was also a bartender that time. I forgot her name though. Maybe Chandelier? Does that ring a bell?
Shannon, maybe. I don't know who that would be though.
Chandelier or Charlene and
Charlene?
Charlene or Charlemagne? I don't know. She didn't really rub me. Once I showed I was sick, she wanted me out of there.
Unfortunately, what happens is that anybody experiencing even the slightest symptoms tend to have a kind of... As unfortunate as it is, there's not much that we can do to help it, except do our best to get them in quarantine as soon as possible. You wouldn't have happened to have thrown up on anyone else or coughed on them, would you?
Yeah, there was this fella with a funny mask. His name was Gabriel.
Okay.
Gabriel, I can't remember. Wyatt? Maybe that's what it was. He's real thick. He was not from around here. Strong, thick accent.
Wheat Kings, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it, brother.
Try and find these gentlemen and have a talk with both of them. See if I can convince them to go willingly into quarantine. However, if you do, really, so long as you wear a mask, you should be okay for short stints in public. As the whole thought process behind a mask is that when you cough, particles in your breath that would carry the virus otherwise get trapped in the mask and die in the cloth. That's why we ask you to wear a mask, whereas the rest of us necessarily don't need to, but it is recommended.
So what you're saying is that it's not for me, it's protection for other people around me.
It's kind of one of those moments where no matter how much you may like or dislike society, it's for the better good that you find a little bit of humanity within you and wear a mask if you're ever going to actually leave wherever you've been quarantined at. Now, while you are quarantined down here, while it is advisable that you not leave the farm and go in public, if you do have to, heard you go to like Armadillo or
Don't they have
Tumbleweed.
cholera over there?
That. Now you could go into Blackwater, but if you go into Blackwater, be careful to wear a mask. Not linger too long.
Send me one, Javi. I need a PB&J with homemade apple butter.
I think, Doc, I'm just gonna stay at McFarland's this time.
Yeah, that'd be recommended. We'll make sure there's a local or a doctor or even a nurse come by to make sure there's food and water and alcohol is needed.
So what do I
Or that
gotta do
you're,
to start to feel better? Is it
rest, really. Make sure you eat. So even though you are probably going to throw up a good amount of what you eat, hopefully some of what you eat will be able to stay down. Mainly what you're going to be able to eat is bread. That's about it. That's the most neutral thing we can feed you that has the least chance of upsetting your stomach to the point where you will vomit again. Bread, water, minimal alcohol, because unfortunately alcohol does upset your stomach. So
But
a minimal amount of that.
tastes so good?
I know, it is good. Feels good too. Unfortunately,
You ever tasted the Valentine bourbon? I heard lots of good things about it.
we will do our best to try and get you some of that Valentine bourbon.
There's a deputy that kind of seemed like he swore by it.
Deputies are deputies. I don't agree with everything they do. They don't agree with everything I do. But at the end of the day, most of each side wants to see people live rather than die.
You know, I don't have much to lose here, Doc, but I sure as hell want to keep living.
And that is true. Lots of people fear the idea that their life might be coming to an end, and that is why we do our best as doctors and or deputies to see to it that many people as possible see that moment. I'm going to give you one reason to keep living, and that is that if you survive this and we see that you have recovered, we can take your blood and we can use it to help further the process of developing a vaccine for this. Now, in the case that should happen, it could be arranged that you could be paid a fairly substantial monetary donation, we'll call it, for your contribution.
I'm always down to get paid.
It won't be enough to buy you a nice mansion down in Saint Denis, but it might be enough to help you establish a business, perhaps buy a small house.
Sonny, I haven't had any of those in many years, though.
Oh no.
You know what I would like to do one day?
What is that?
I'd like to go. I heard about people finding gold in the rivers of New Alexandria.
I'll tell you what. You listen to our instructions, you rest, you eat minimal foods and drink lots of water. Cooperate with the doctors, and we'll see to it that you can get started as a prospector.
Oh, is that what they're called?
What they call him is a prospector.
The
There's a
fella.
mine just north of McFarland's ranch, actually.
You don't say.
I'm not recommending you go out there right now.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Precisely. But you get through this, and you survive this, and we start using your blood to up the production of a vaccine. Then I don't see why there wouldn't be any reason why myself or one of my other doctors couldn't pay for a sifting bowl or a pickaxe.
Is that the tools you need to do that?
Just about pickaxe, sifting bucket.
Where do you get one of those them sipping
Lantern.
buckets?
Yeah, the sifting buckets, you can use them down in the rivers, preferably the northern rivers, because they're coming out of the mountains, and sometimes they'll carry actually pretty substantial gold nuggets in them.
You get those at like a general store or something?
You can get the sifting bucket down at the general store. The pickaxe, there's a gentleman in Valentine standing right outside of the store that's selling it.
Simpson bucket. Satisfied coming in with the total of 6,000 seals. Thank you guys.
Now, you're going to see different uniforms. Recently, all of our doctors, nurses, and medics and their trainees, respectively, underwent a uniform change. Everybody coming down should be wearing mostly the same thing I'm wearing. Same hat and a vest of a certain color. If they come down here and they're not wearing one of these, and they claim to be a doctor with the medical board, chances are they're not, and I would not, I would do my best to not do what they tell you to do. Of course, in your current state, I don't expect you to put up much of a fight. However,
So you said they wear vests? What kind of hat?
they all wear this hat that I'm wearing with the feather on it. Excuse me.
Okay.
I thought. The reason I take a wagon out here, the wolves don't like wagons. They'll all be wearing this hat with the feather in it. And they'll be wearing a differently colored vest or shirt. They're wearing dark blue, they're a doctor. Red are medics. I believe our nurses are wearing light blue. They're wearing a white vest. Excuse me, not a white vest. Well, I should be the only one wearing a white vest at the moment.
What about them, the Frenchies? Are they in the state?
I do not know if the French doctors are in the state. I also don't know what they wear, what they look like. Unfortunately, that is a detail that we haven't been able to get our hands on yet out of anybody that was taken by them. All I know is they're French and they claim to be doctors. That's about it. Alrighty, here we are. You're home away from home. For the time being. Go
Appreciate
get
it.
yourself set up in your cabin. I'll make sure that there's no French doctors lurking about.
Make sure there's no cougars either. Well, unless that one that stands on the porch over there. She's mine.
Oh, I only hope and pray that one day I'll age to the point that I can have your sense of humor.
Oh.
The cabin you decided on?
Yeah, it's got a nice bed inside.
It looks pretty nice and homely.
Well, Doc,
It looks real nice and homely.
thank you. I wanted to say thank you so much for coming and getting me on a Valentine.
Of course, that's my job.
It's almost like the home I never had.
Maybe the Garlands will be nice enough to offer you a job once you're done here.
I might go and try and collect some wood and get the fire started in here.
Fair bit of wood in here. As far as you're concerned, I wouldn't worry about you collecting wood. I'll see to it that you're given wood. Bed and really fresh. I'll make sure there's
That-
decently
you see
clean
that
beds in
stain?
here.
That was.
I do.
I don't remember if that was for me or if it was there before I got here that last time. It's kind of bloody.
Otherwise, do your best to stay in here. You've got water in here. That water should be relatively clean. Got yourself a fire. You've got your bread and water. Do you have any wood on you?
What?
You have any wood on you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Well, I got these couple right here that I'll use. I'll set out a
Same
fire
with,
outside. Let people know that people are here, you know?
In that case, what I'll do is I'm going to give you some meat.
Actually, I'll set it over by this tree over here.
We'll give you some meat that you can cook with the fire.
That sounds great.
Take a little bit at a time. Your stomach should be able to handle it. Hopefully, if it doesn't, days with some bread and water. And try.
How big of a fire do you think I need to make to keep the wolves away? And the cougars?
Think cougars, I don't think I'm going to give you too much of an issue. The wolves, they tend to be kind of unbothered by fire. So your best bet is if there's wolves, go inside, or
You hear that, Doc?
I hear.
I thought you said the cougars weren't something to worry about.
Well, they shouldn't be. There might be one about, but I don't think it's close enough to cause you any concern. Wolves and cougars, your best bet is go inside or get up on the roof if you can.
The roof?
Or perhaps on that big rock over there. That big rock over there should be enough for wolves. Perhaps cougar.
I think you need to go find the cougar. I have a feeling he might.
Ooh, I'm gonna go take a look at that fire up yonder there and I can't find that cougar.
My precious? My precious?
There's wood over here if you need it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I'm sure they won't mind taking a
Little
few
does he
pieces.
know, last night I got mauled by a cougar here. By myself. Actually, me and James. It was in between these buildings. And it was hilarious. If I squint, he looks like a stormtrooper.
Those boxes probably work too for wolves and for cougars. I had thought that there was a fire, but it's just a chimney on this particular house. Which is fair. Make sure you get yourself set up.
Yo,
nice and
Big
cozy.
J.
Get lots of rest.
Will do. Don't forget me. Let
I
others
won't
let
forget
others
you.
know that we're here. I wouldn't mind any company either. You know, in the form of a bottle.
Of course. Well, you got that bottle of brandy. Just don't drink the whole thing at once.
Big J, how are you doing, buddy? I'm doing fantastic, man. Thank you so
how good
much
are you
for the
with a
28
pistol?
months.
What was that?
How good are you with a pistol?
Never used one before.
Be leaving you out here. Let me make sure I still got it on me before I start making promises. Just, if I'm gonna leave you out here, I'm not gonna leave you with, you know, just a... There's a double action revolver. You don't have to cock the hammer after every shot. You pull the trigger, it'll go bang. 6 rounds. Very easy to reload.
Oh,
Got ammo in it.
Yeah.
That's for wolves, cougars if you end up having that issue. French doctors if you end up having that issue too. As far as I'm aware, none of our doctors are French. Remember the hat. If they're wearing the hat, please to God, don't shoot them.
what do you think? Stick 'em out. I'm just kidding, Doc.
Yeah. Don't go robbing nobody.
Why, to make them feel like what it feels like every day for me? With nothing? No.
As good as I can only imagine that would probably make you feel, or make somebody else feel, unless you're one of the ones that would rather not do that. Last thing I need to see is you arrested. Right.
So, what's next for you, Doc?
I'm gonna go to the nearest train station, check the telegrams, head back into Valentine, see if somebody else has showed up.
I noticed they had the hotel all boarded up.
Yeah, the owner of the hotel decided to close their business due to the fact that a large amount of people normally inhabit it, and as a result, they don't want to contribute to the spreading of whatever this is.
Sorry.
Right. You're the sick one here, not me. You're fine. Keep yourself safe, and you keep yourself in that cabin. As long as you're in the cabin, you don't need a mask. If you head out, be preferable if you had one on.
Dr. Blood, thank you so much.
If anybody comes by and asks you who told you you could be here, let them know that Chief Dr. Vlad told you you could be here.
Chief Doctor, huh? I'm gonna go get some rest.
Recommended. You sleep well.